Hi, and welcome to Freelancer Showcase, hosted by Slice Creative Network and TETV. Today, we're going to interview a wonderful freelancer that I know and love. His name is Bill Kivi. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I'm so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here. This is great.
Finally, I'm glad I got you on here.
Thank you.
All right, Bill, let's get straight into it. So let's tell everybody what disciplines you work in.
Okay, great. Well, I would consider myself an attraction designer and also an art director.
Okay, great. And where are you located?
I am currently in process of relocating to Orlando.
Okay, great. And tell us about some companies that you've worked for in the past.
Okay, well, I've done work with Bold Move Nation. I've done work with Sally Dark Rides. I was there for a number of years. I've worked with a number of large insurance companies and also Verizon. So I work with Verizon Data Services. So I've kind of been around a good bit.
Excellent. Well, let's take a look at your portfolio.
This is me, Bill Kivi, and this is a page. I've got some examples of some on-site art direction that I've done. Top left is Sesame Street Mission, which is located at Port Ventura, Spain. Spent about 6 weeks on site working on that project. Prior to was about 2 years of development. Bottom right is a Justice League Battle for Metropolis ride, and I art directed 5 different installations of that ride. In total, that was a few years doing the different rides and concepts. So the bottom left is Reese's Cup Fusion, which is an interactive dark ride at Hershey Park. It's a really fun ride, and it's been their most popular ride since it opened, which is about 2 years ago. This is examples of some CG animation direction. So I work with the media vendor during the entire process, from initial concepts, storyboards, developing gameplay, and then also on-site installation. So this is Sesame Street Mission. This all 3 examples here. This ride recently won a Theo Award, but I'm super proud of that. It was a lot of fun to work on. Next page would be Reese's Cup Fusion again. And so I worked with the media provider there. Total time was about a year in development, from concept to final installation. Worked with them on site for about 6 weeks, while I was also art directing the install ride and directing the show programming. So working with all the vendors. And here we've got some show set design. So on the left side, this is the Cyborgs Lab. And this is at Justice League Battle for Metropolis at Magic Mountain in California. So this is my concept on the left. And on the right side is the actual install. And so all the models that I had created were actually used for production. And so I oversaw the production, reviewing drawings, and making sure, visiting the scenic vendor in Las Vegas, putting hands on everything, making sure it all worked. It was a really great project, and this one actually also won a Theo Award. Super proud of it. It was a lot of fun. Great team. These are some more examples from that same project. Left side are my concept designs in 3D. And excuse me. This was the left side's the Hall of Justice, and the right side's the installed. The real challenge with this particular scene was that while everybody's heard of it, there's really no good artwork reference for it. And so I had to pull a lot of reference just from the era and try to do something that would be reminiscent of something that you'd find in, the Hall of Justice for DC Comics. This is a lot of fun to develop, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. So here's another piece. So this is a Gargoyle, and this is for the Sesame Street Mission ride. They had like this one little tiny piece of artwork that showed what a gargoyle could have looked like for outside of Count's castle, and it was really not enough information to go off of, so I had to design this basically from scratch. So I designed the cookie. The cookie was used throughout the ride. We had 3 different shapes, and also that same model was shared with the media vendor that I worked with. and that's so that they all match. So this is an animatronic as well. So it was all designed to scale and made sure that it would function. When your guest will use their clue collector, when they hit the gargoyle, the mouth will close and the lights will go on. And then in doing this, I had to redesign these turrets, which is what houses it. The original turret design just wasn't quite made to house these large gargoyles. So this is a lot of fun. It turned out really nice. Kit Rappy said they were adorable. He's the creative director for Sesame Workshop, so I was super excited to hear that. Part of what I do as well is previs, and so all the rides that we had done at Sally, I had been involved in creating 3D, basically a representation of the whole ride, and that was to share with clients to get approvals as well as the IP holders. So this would be an example of a project that I had done for the Justice League Battle for Metropolis at Magic Mountain. I'm not going to play the video because it'll take 3 minutes, but that link can be found on my website. So this is ride vehicle design. So being a 3D artist, I did a lot of ride vehicle designs. This is the taxi for Sesame Street Mission. Over on the left is the concept, and on the right is the actual. And then along with that would be the interactive device. So this is your clue collector that you use to collect clues, which in this case would be cookies. So on the right is my design. Spent a good while studying different kinds of game controllers as well as like remotes, and ordered a whole slew of buttons. I had them all over my desk, just kind of testing them out and figuring out what would be a good button and what would fit in this design, and what, the ergonomics of it and what would be comfortable for children. So we even tested this on some kids to make sure that they could hold it, they could use it, they could push the button. This was a lot of fun. I'm really glad it turned out. On the left is showing the guest using it. And then now, these are some real-time concepts that I created in the Unreal Engine. The left two images are snapshots from a short film that I created called Awakening. I was invited by Epic Games to participate in a virtual production for Storytellers contest, or kind of like a special learning opportunity, a challenge. And so I'm really proud of how it turned out. Epic Games picked it as one of their favorites. On the right is just some concepts that I created for fun. And that is a brief look at my portfolio.
Wow, Bill, that was really cool. I was really enjoying that. I didn't want it to end.
Thank you. I'm like,
yeah,
great. Run out of time.
Great stuff. I have a couple of quick questions of my own.
Sure.
The Reese's Cup Fusion, did they pump smells in there like chocolate and peanut butter and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. So there's chocolate, and there's also strawberry and bubble gum.
Oh, man.
So at the end, you're battling Candy Colossus, and he's made of bubble gum and candy.
Oh,
and it's huge.
And the smells, I love it.
Yeah, it really sets that right off. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool. And then the Sesame Street ride. Tell me, did they have a cookie kiosk at the end of the ride?
They talked about they talked about doing something like that, but I don't think it ever happened. But
no,
it does make
ways
you want
to improve.
I know. It was the best ride. That was so much fun.
It looks really, really cute and great. I hope to ride it one day. That's awesome.
I hope you can.
Great 3D models, Bill. This was really, really beautiful work. And there was like a lot of information packed into your portfolio. So like, give us a quick list of like all the disciplines that you work in, because there's so much. Like, we call you an attraction designer, but there's a lot packed in there. Give us a list of what you do specifically.
Yeah, right. So just to try to quickly go through it. So art direction, which would be working with the scenic vendors, working with the ride car manufacturers, working with the media providers. I'm a 3D animator as well. I'm actually doing a project right now for Mattel, animating kid shows. And so because of that, I can work directly with the media providers and, from initial concept story all the way to delivery. 3D modeler, obviously, seeing my portfolio, I did a lot of 3D work. Been working in 3D for over 20 years. I do the real time, so I've been playing around with Unreal for about 2.5, 3 years now, and doing visualizations with that. I've also get into doing some graphic design. There's quite a bit of graphic design I did for Sesame Street, as well as the Justice League rides. Let's see. So yeah, ride vehicles, show sets, interactive devices. And then anytime I do a ride vehicle or an interactive device, for example, it's all looking at, ergonomics, real world ergonomics. Everything that I design is made to scale, and those models can be exported and immediately imported to whoever's CAD software they're using, and they can use that to go off for their drawings. So
awesome. Well, let's talk about what programs you use.
okay.
Can you rattle off a list of programs?
Yeah, I wrote down a few just to help remind me. So Unreal 4, 3ds Max, Maya. I'd say I'm an expert in all three of those. The Adobe products, so Premiere for like video editing, and After Effects for editing and animation. Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel Draw, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, of course, for presentations. Mudbox, playing around with some digital sculpting. Substance Painter to paint really beautiful textures. And that's probably about it. There might be some more, but.
Bill, what can't you do? That'll be a shorter list.
I don't know. I love to learn. I'm a sponge for like, oh, there's this new toy. You're like, oh, how do you do that? Right. So I got into 3D printing a few years ago, and I'm making a mask right now based off the movie Mask, and that's a lot of fun. So
cool. Well, do you speak any other languages?
I speak some Spanish. And I've done a project in Mexico City, and then one at Portaventura, Spain, and I got by with some help, but so some Spanish.
All right, cool. So if someone wants to have a longer interview with you or check out even more of your work, how do you want them to contact you?
Email would be great, and that would be billkividesign@gmail.com.
Okay. And shout out, what's your website? What's your website address?
Okay, that'd be billkividesign.com. And on the website, there's many more examples of all of what I just showed.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Bill. This has been great. I can't wait to review this video again to look more in depth at your work. And it's just a pleasure to know you. And I'm so glad you're part of our community, and I wish you well. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And for those of you out there who'd like to learn more about Bill or other creative freelancers who work in the themed entertainment industry, please visit us at slicecreativenetwork.com. Bye.